Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 19th of May. Gary,
Philip.
I'm pumped. Open for inspections are back,
Oh, yeah.
auctions are back,
Oh, yeah.
people are out and about.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was the weekend that we were waiting for. How relieved am I? How relieved are you?
Look, I'm so relieved I forgot to put on a title. In fact, I just want to talk about this now because, we talked a little while ago. We go back to earlier episodes, Philip. You'll see you were tireless.
Yes.
You were far more relaxed.
Yep.
So now you've got a tie on. I haven't got a tie on. Is that some sort of a little bit of a partnership one-upmanship you've got going here? Or do you want to just distinguish ourselves, me being the casual nice guy, you being the formal, articulate business person? Or what is going on here?
I'll tell you what's going on. This has been an actually well thought out strategy
right?
of mine.
Yeah.
During the more difficult times, if you go back through the episodes of GPTV, as COVID came on and developed, I started to dress a bit more formally because I thought that I needed to make a step and I needed to stand up as a leader just to introduce the fact that for me, it's business, it's game on. I thought I'd just bring that little bit of finesse that you are totally incapable of doing, Gary.
Fair enough. So that's what it's about, is it?
It's
so
pretty much.
You're going to remain with the tie?
I reckon as everything relaxes and life goes back to normal, I'll take the tie off and be just a nice, approachable guy.
I think you should relax. I think it's better to be tie off, have a casual, just a friendly, casual chat to our viewers, Philip, because they're not here for a form. We're not, you're not Alan Oster, okay? I've got to tell you that. And, it's not
Alan
an economic
Oster,
review.
the chief economist for the National Australia
not-
Bank.
it's-
For those
it's-
viewers that don't know.
That would probably a lot of our viewers wouldn't, Philip. You're just a salesman, mate, okay? You're just a salesman, so just relax,
I'm
take
just
your tie
a
off,
real
and
estate
take
salesman.
it easy. Just a real estate
when
salesman.
you peel the
Exactly
onion right back to its core,
That's it.
Gary, all I am is a
Exactly
salesman.
right. That's exactly right. And that's
For
really
the
all you are.
salesmen and salespeople that are watching this, I reckon it's one of the most underrated professions in the world. Because if you think about this, Gary, life, everything in life, everything is about sales.
Well,
I mean, you think about
and negotiation, Phil.
Well, you think about
We're
it. Sales and
negotiators.
negotiation. You go back to, let's go back to your single days. Let me tell you, you needed a lot of sales and negotiation
skills.
techniques just so that you wouldn't
Absolutely.
go home to your miserable little one-bedroom apartment alone again.
It wasn't one bedroom, it was two, and I
two
wasn't alone.
bedroom.
I had a flatmate, Phil, and a lot of
did?
fun times.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, Phil, all this, we're professionals. Well, we are professionals. We are in our craft. But at the end of the day, we're salespeople. So just relax, take your tie off. We're in sales, and don't we love it, Phil?
And for the viewers of this show, just remember, we are trying to sell you something.
Exactly right. That's for sure. We haven't worked out what it is yet, but we'll
I must
get there.
say there are a number of, I'm often amazed by the letters and emails we get about this show. And it's not so much the content of those letters or emails, Gary, that astounds me.
Are you just shocked that people are actually watching?
No, I'm not shocked that people watch because we know that. But what astounds me by the letters and the emails we get, Gary, is the absolute calibre of the people that watch this show. That's what I'm shocked about.
I know.
There are seriously
There's smart people that
educated
watch
and
it.
intelligent people.
Why would you do that if you were smart?
This show.
I don't get it.
Well,
if you're a clever person, there's so many things you
is
can
it a
watch.
sad indictment on them, Gary, or is it a sad indictment on the quality of television outside GPTV?
I haven't worked it
that
out.
people flock with high intellectual calibre and ability. They flock to this show for this source of information.
Well, it's a bit of variety, I suppose, Phil, a bit of lightheartedness in a world that's
Shakes
full of
things
darkness.
up.
It's a little bit of sun coming through dark clouds, Philip, because let's face it, they have been dark clouds, haven't they, for many of the last few months? But gee
no
whiz, Phil.
shortage of bad news out there, but we are the bearers of good news, particularly this week, Gary, because I have to tell you, viewers, and I got a photo
What
on
happened
Saturday.
to you then? What happened to you then? That was
What
was that? What is that? What is
I got
that?
a photo Saturday afternoon from one of our salespeople, right? And he showed us a photo of the queue of people that were lined up to get through one of our open for inspections. I looked at the photo and I immediately sent an email and text out to the entire group. No photos of that on social media because it was not what I think the government is looking for. There was a large queue of
you know
people.
what? If you think about Baker Blue, down here, the bakery here, Hawthorne Road, very good if you want to get some great bread.
Best bread on the planet in Hawthorne Road, Caulfield North. Baker Blue supplies bread to some of the best restaurants that are no longer open in Melbourne. But when they do reopen, places like
patisseries,
Attica in Glen
Eira Road.
My favourite, D'Estasio, is also stocks their bread. Most incredible bread. Anyway, this is not a commercial. Sorry,
but it's relevant, Phil, because they have, they're popular.
Yes,
and people are spaced out.
Incredibly popular.
And so I think the people can be spaced. I mean, you can't say to a 10th person that comes to an open, look, you're not welcome here because you're number 11. But if we social distance them, Philip, it's fine. And there's no more than 10 people in at a time.
Yes.
In a home.
We're doing all the right things.
Everything right. Oh, yeah, we'll give them a spritz, Phil. No problem. It's all good, Phil. But I get what you're saying. Crowds. And there was an agent that had an auction on site, and of course it was the auctioneer's there, and there was all these people in the distance, and it was kind of a bit on the borderline, Phil, about what's going on here. So we've got to be very careful. We've thought that through ourselves too, haven't we, Phil? We've thought it through, and we've come up with absolutely no way of getting around it. But we'll work it out.
But anyway, viewers, I think the exciting thing about it is that this is the week that it all came back to life. It was like to use a countryism. It was like the first rain after a drought. Are you on social media?
No, I'm not. No, I'm on social media. I was looking to see whether I've heard about Order of Command's run on Saturdays was 5th, which is a bit disappointing.
Okay, that would
Sorry
be
about
your
that. No
horse
money
that
back.
You tipped everybody to back.
Yeah,
and,
I did do that, Phil.
Tipped and came in 5th.
Came 5th. Not bad.
Can you
a good one.
concentrate on the show?
No, because relevant, Phil. No, this is part of the show.
Could have prepared.
Yeah, I could have, but then people would have known it or thought this was a professional show, and that this was part of our career. We're salesmen, Phil. I keep telling you. Salesmen. 640 groups of people through on the weekend, Philip, as opposed to last weekend, 340. So, Philip, we're up by 300 groups of people. Could be 600 people. Now, what's going on with that? What does that say?
Drive these. So our number is 100% up on the week before.
Yep, it is.
So that's a massive number.
Just about.
We've had some really good sales across the weekend, and yet the bad news in the paper last week. All of the banks, mind you, you've got to love this. All on the news last week, the banks were going on about how property prices were going to drop.
30%.
30%. Somebody said 10%. Somebody said 20%. Somebody said it could be as bad as 30%.
Yep.
And then Alan Joyce, who writes for the financial...
Isn't he the guy from Qantas?
No. Who writes for the financial... Well, he is from Qantas, but this is a different Joyce. Writes for the Financial Review. Long article in Saturday's Financial Review, and he's got form for tipping things correctly. Said, actually, he doesn't think property prices are going to go down. Why? What was his chief proposition? I tell you this, viewers. He said, in a world now of interest rates being almost negative, that is, people with money cannot get a return on $1 in the bank. He was saying he thinks that property yielding 3, 4 and 5% has never been a better time to buy, because that is bricks and mortar that will continue to pump out income when you can get virtually zero in the bank.
Well, you'll be impressed, Phil, that I saw that.
There's some good news.
I saw that article, Phil, because I was reading the paper.
You did not see the article because you've never read the Financial Review.
No, it wasn't the Financial Review. But
it was not in the Sun Herald, and it was not in the Truth or the Racing Daily.
I read the Sun Herald like Hebrew. I read from back to front, Philip, because that's how the Hebrewic way of reading. Of course, start with the form guide, and I actually ran out of racing, and then I got into the financial papers, Philip. I saw that article, and it's absolutely correct. That property gives you income. It's a stable form of investing your money, Philip, and goodness knows it goes up over time, and it will again.
And Gary, the joy of real estate ownership. It doesn't matter what happens economically, is that it will be there. Times can be good, times could be bad, but you can drive past and say, to your kids, we own that sunny gym or gorgeous door.
Or as I say to my kids, I could have bought that building for $15,000 and never had to work again.
That's right.
I didn't.
Good times, bad times, property stays, unless of course you're in an area which is prone to tsunamis, when it's perhaps not so good.
Swampland, Phil.
But ultimately, when you put your money in the bank and get 1% or 1.25% or something lousy, why wouldn't you buy a piece of real estate? Anyway, that was his proposition. Writes for the Financial Review. This is not Gary's opinion or my opinion.
And he's a tipster.
This is the opinion of somebody intelligent.
He's a tipster.
Who's not a salesman.
And we both listen to tipsters, don't we? You know, I listen to the racing tipsters, you listen to the financial, somewhere in the middle. We come together beautifully. And now, hey Phil, I've got to ask you a question. Let's put that hey Phil.
We've got to get some graphics for the hey Phil.
Don't you watch? We've got hey Phil.
Watch the show. I've never seen the hey Phil.
Oh, haven't you? Yeah, you're sitting in your lounge room. You're sitting in your lounge chair, being very contemplative.
Speaking of the lounge chair, do you know what we've been doing in this time of having weekends, which is kind of bizarre? We've got an outdoor fire at our place, viewers, and we've been having people over and we've been sitting around outside in a COVID-friendly manner, which is spacey.
Well, the family can
and we've been sitting around the fire. And the bizarre, we had some people over on, I think it was on Sunday.
Oh yeah, how many?
And we said, we've actually never seen you in daylight, because you know a lot of people they go out for breakfasts and lunches and see people.
Well,
on the weekend.
We don't do that. We're working all the time.
It's the most extraordinary. It was extraordinary to see people in daylight, and to those people that came over, you actually look okay, but you do look better in the evening.
Yeah, I wonder what sort of shock they had seeing you in daylight, Phil, and turning it around the other way. Maybe they always wanted it to be a nighttime only, a nocturnal relationship, shall we say, Phil?
That's a good point.
So my question was, and I believe I put the Hey Phil logo back up there because you interrupted my Hey Phil moment. Is it the fact that we had almost 100% extra people just because of opens, or is something changed, or is it a combination of the two? That's my question to you. Do people like working with structured open for inspection times rather than the inconvenience, perhaps,
of
Gary, by appointment?
I'm going to answer the question because you did say, hey, Phil, and then you asked me a question, so I'm presuming it wasn't rhetorical, that you were going to answer it yourself. I'll answer it. There's no question, Gary, we've proven over time, even during boom times, when you don't have a property open for inspection and you just allow inspections by appointment, the traffic flow through that house is significantly lower. I think buyers do like the opportunity to know that it's open from 11 to... Can you look at the camera?
No, because this guy, I've got a story about him.
It's 11 to 11:30. It's open. People feel much more comfortable coming through the open for inspections without having to ring and converse with the salesman at the other end of the phone. So there's no question that properties with opens attract greater interest, and on top of it, Gary, they sell quicker. The days on market where properties are open for inspection is less than properties where it's by appointment.
That's a good answer.
The Hey Phil answer.
I did hear it, Phil.
Are you back with us now? We film at our centre at 198 Balaclava Road, which is our project marketing centre, which is windows right around us. And Gary, who finds it very hard to concentrate for more than about 30 seconds.
That's not true. That's more you.
Is looking at the people that are going
Well, no, it's not
past.
a people. It's that. See, you wonder what becomes of people in this COVID. See, that guy that wandered past, and you saw him at the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
He lives at the Caulfield TAB. He lives at the Tableau. That I swear to you, hang on a
second.
He actually.
How do you know he lives there?
Because every time I go in there, whether it's for lunch or to get a race book or to go in there, you know, when I used to take my dear mother there for a bit of a go on the pokies, whatever.
He's always there.
Always
there.
So
if he's always there when you're always there, if he lives there, what does that say about you?
Well, the difference is I come and go, Phil, but he is a stable.
Oh, okay.
He is a stable, positioned. He's like a statue.
Yeah.
But he's always there. Friendly guy, always wants to have a bit of a chat about real estate and horses, of course. But Phil, what happens to people like that? You know, if TAB is your home away from home and all TABs are shut, it must be pretty devastating.
That's why he's hanging around our office.
And I'm worried about him. He's wandering in front of trams. All sorts of things could happen. Anyway, good answer. Thank you. And that's true. I agree with all of what you've said, Philip. Interesting. People's habits and behaviours, Philip, are interesting. And we are analysts of people's behaviour, Philip.
Well,
observers and analysts.
I think good real estate agents are part psychologists, Gary.
So we're not just salesmen anymore.
In order to understand how to put a sale together, you've got to understand your buyer's motivation, you've got to understand your seller's motivation, and as the salesman in the middle, you've got to be able to connect these people together.
Look, you know,
there's a lot more to it than just being a salesman.
Well, see, I'm illuminated, Phil. That's the beauty of us getting together. I came on board the show today thinking we're salesmen, we're just salesmen, and now you've just shown me the light, and I can see that we're so much more than
Gary,
that. I'm going to leave here a better person.
I'm like a shining beacon for you.
Absolutely,
in the cold, dark environment,
exactly
I'm the shining beacon that lights your pathway moving forward.
Speaking of moving forward, hey, before we get into all that stuff, the handshake, Phil, we talked about last week. Has it gone forever? And of course,
nice feedback.
We've had some, we've had some feedback on that. A couple of, we've had some. Roy has said I won't say exactly, but he said Trump, and before there's a Trump word before Trump, he says he hasn't worked out how to elbow bump. Trump hasn't worked out how to elbow bump. So that was an interesting comment.
But
I like, I know it is, but now when you see people, it's like, hey, can you do it?
Now it's just, you don't even bump now, you just go like that.
So,
people know what you're trying to say.
So is there some sort of elbow bump? Because I still see people, and it's awkward when you see clients and they hold out their hand. It's really awkward because your natural reaction is to
shake
give
their
hand, bring them in, whatever it is, And of course, we've had sessions on handshakes, and there's people in our office who've got a bony handshake, sweaty handshake, soft handshake, hard handshake, looking down handshake, and of course, most people will handshake, and we won't touch, but most people, boom, look in your eye, But now, Phil, it's all changed because now it's about the elbow bump, and I'm not quite sure how the elbow bump works.
I'm tipping that it'll be a long time before the handshake comes back. I'm a bit of a kisser, Gary.
You said that last week.
You probably know that about me.
Yeah, I don't really want to know. I don't want to know that. I don't think the viewers. It's a good time to move on. Is there anything you want to really share that's quick and
but
tasteful?
I do. I'm a physical guy. I like the connection of another human being in my arms. So.
Even when they keep walking back away from you, how far do you push them until you actually back away yourself?
Well, when they're kind of just outside the police station, that's when I know it's probably time to back up.
It's like the the Seinfeld episode.
Can we talk?
They had Judge Reinhold, the close talker. He talks right on top of people. Remember that guy?
Speaking of Seinfeld viewers, I did watch the new Seinfeld stand-up 1 hour session on Netflix.
You loved it?
Oh, beautiful. That guy goes into the absolute essence of the things that we kind of engage in, but
take for granted.
Human behaviour. He zeroes in, and then when he gives you the example, you kind of go, absolutely get it. Beautiful. Watch it on Netflix.
And driving around, with cars, with coffee. I've seen an episode now with Don Rickles, Philip, who of course everyone would remember Don Rickles as a great comedian. Well, you didn't see him in Cootamundra TV; they wouldn't have had him, but he was a comedian, 87 years old, and was through the Frank Sinatra era and all the old comedians, the Jerry Lewis guys. Oh, fantastic episode! You get to see it. Phil, one more, then we're going to get there. Somebody has said that they bought on a handshake a property, on a handshake, and their attorney, which is a bit of an American term, isn't it?
Attorney.
Later said that the handshake would have stood up in a court of law to purchase the property.
Well, I think
that's a very interesting.
Thank you, viewer, for sending that in, and I believe that that's quite an intelligent viewer.
Oh yeah, Phil.
Having said that, viewer,
it's a doctor.
I don't think you're right. The Sale of Land Act, I'm pretty sure, absolutely prescribes that a contract of sale is not enforceable unless it's in writing.
No, you would think so, with some consideration as well. Anyway, interesting one. So, you should go back to your attorney.
Don't feel the viewer that sent that in. Don't feel that we're not taking you seriously.
No,
we are, of course.
And we're grateful for the feedback.
We just think you're wrong.
Yeah, but we love you. Well, we don't think you're wrong. We think your attorney's wrong. But we love the feedback.
Oh yes, of course. There we are. That was beautiful. Protected our viewer nicely.
Of course.
The viewer.
We love the viewer.
We don't think you're wrong. We just think you're badly advised.
Possibly so, Philip. Anyway, interesting. We'll get
Shall we
more on that.
name and shame that attorney?
No, we won't do that. We haven't held it here. But there you go. Bought the home that way.
Yep.
But must have had some contract to settle it, Philip, because it would have had to go through titles, office, everything else. Should we talk about real estate now?
Let's talk about some of the sales across the weekend.
Okay.
We're doing a lot, viewers, off market. That is no online advertising, just completely quiet sale. Like the sale that your son and Glenn Bricker put together at number 873 Glen Huntley Road,
Phil,
Gary.
did get
That
put
was
together.
a good sale. A good sale, viewers, because the team just hit the phones, had something like 23 physical inspections of the property.
Is the price disclosed
and
or not disclosed?
got that property over the line. I'm not sure. I'm looking down here, Gary, so we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But great sale, over the $1 million mark, and just another example of how we're selling things through our database.
Buyers want to know what's hot now, and if I look through the list of properties that we had open, we had one particular property, Philip, where we had 35 groups through, or 40 groups.
Tranmere Avenue, a two-bedroom apartment in an unrenovated building, a good solid building in Carnegie. I'll get to that in a moment. There's a two-bedroom apartment, had over 40 groups through it.
Yeah.
But you are thinking about Arawata in Carnegie, a two-bedroom, one of a pair,
is that right?
single-fronted house. It is, Gary. Don't
fact
need to
check.
check.
No, Hillary Clinton says fact check.
It had massive numbers of people through. I'm just going to keep moving on. That property hasn't been sold yet. Sold a lovely home in Amelia Street in Caulfield South.
Yeah, Arawata was. Yeah, you're right.
Price is undisclosed in Amelia Street, but on approximately 450 square metres of land.
Price guide was high ones to two.
So a lot of activity, Gary, in South Caulfield, circa $2 million
there is a
for
fair
family
bit going
homes.
on there. You're right,
I
Phil,
think probably probably in the last 2 months, we've probably transacted 6 or 7 homes in that $1.9 to $2.3 million range in South Caulfield.
Busy.
Viewers, if you're watching this show and you have a family home in South Caulfield, we have a desperate need for more of them because they are selling well.
And we did sell, we won't say the property address, Phil, but we sold a property in that sort of same range to an actual investor client of ours, Philip, who bought it and he's going to rent it out. So, Phil, let's move on to Carnarvon Road and talk about that one.
Shout out to Daniel Fisher,
well done,
who's transacted that property.
Price is undisclosed,
really
Phil.
Good 2-story townhouse.
Range was 1.3 to 1.45 across that sort of range.
Love that position. Carnarvon Road, viewers, if you don't know, there's a lovely little pocket of North Caulfield which runs between Hawthorne Road, Inkerman and the curve of Dandenong Road.
Yes, it is.
It's a heritage overlay area.
Oh, it's a beautiful pocket.
You've got the park, Caulfield Park, you've got Glenferrie Road across the road, you've got the tram and Hawthorne Road, tram and Dandenong Road, Malvern train station. It's a really sought after little pocket.
Lots of prestige homes, prestige period homes, I should say, Philip.
There are a lot of sales in that area between 2 and kind of 4.
Yeah, indeed, Philip. 159 Bamboo Road is not undisclosed, Philip. We can say the price is sold for $1,810,000. Well done to Aviv Samuel.
I must say, I walked through that the other day and I thought that was a really well designed one of these 2-story townhouses. Viewers, we talk a lot about these 2-story townhouses, party wall going down the centre. They are the future of real estate from here right through all over Melbourne, in fact. So good sale, good property, well done to Aviv Samuel.
19 Bamboo Road's the other sale we'll review today, but there's a home that's been on the market for a little bit of time, and sometimes, Philip, people say, oh, it's been on the market a long time, it's not a great house, but I can tell you what, that was always a great house.
I believed in that from the day it came on.
Always a great home, wonderful property,
we got its value.
Congratulations to buyer and seller alike who've transacted on a great home. Phil, we've got an auction on Wednesday at 5 o'clock in Albion Street, St Kilda East. We've talked a bit about this, I think, before, but what a great home. Aviv Samuel's excited, and I think Leor's doing the auction.
He is. I think I'll go along.
I'm going to go along too because it's the first
auction
we've done for a while.
Keep in mind, Gary, that the new laws say only 10 people may attend the auction together with the
supporting staff.
The supporting staff. Now, we cannot have 130 of our staff there, or our team. So I'm going to go, anyway. Aviv's going to go, Leor's going to go, you're going to go.
We've got 125 more.
At some point, we're going to have to say, well, that's enough.
Okay. Which point we're going to do
I'm not sure, probably at around 110.
Okay, fair enough, that's responsible. Philip, 72 Faulkner Street, what a beautiful looking home this is. Very excited about that one.
It is, Gary. I did a video tour there. Have a look on that. So I didn't mind that one, Gary. I did it without a tie and a sports jacket instead of a suit. Thought I'd share that with you. Love that position.
Marambina Road sold, I think.
We're in the middle of something else, Gary.
Okay.
Walk to Ackland Street and Carlisle Street and Fitzroy Street and walk to the Espy and walk past and go, one day I will be back in the Espy having a drink.
Yeah, in the, what's the name of this special room there? Gershwin room?
The Gershwin? Yep. That's where you listen to the bands, Gary.
Yeah, I like it there, Phil. And that's where I went there when they made Rock Quiz one time.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, love a bit of Rock Quiz, Phil. My trivia's pretty good, as you know.
You've never been to the Espy when it does reopen. It is the most phenomenal.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I have.
You hung out there?
I have, yeah.
Had a wild time?
Oh, I didn't really have a wild time, but
stay there till what, 10 p.m. or something crazy like that?
Incredible place.
Waiuna Road, Philip, comes up for auction on Saturday at 11:30, and there's a property in Barker Street, Philip, is coming up also in Cheltenham. Some details there. I'm looking forward to doing that, Philip. 10:30 a.m. Saturday.
Good.
I'll be
do you
dusting
remember
off
what
the suit.
to do?
Oh, I think so. I'll have to take the rules of the auction. I'll have a bit of practice, and I'll be up to speed. No worries about that, Philip. Rosebery Grove, Sunday at that is going at Sunday 11:30.
If it's not sold before, of course.
If not sold prior, 35 Barindi Road, due to be auctioned this weekend. If not sold prior, 2:30 p.m. Beautiful home. We've reviewed it before. And 364 Kooyong Road, Philip. That is at 3:30 p.m.
It's
And what a beautiful home.
Family home. Well, Gary, it's just a pleasure to look at this home because it's been magnificently rebuilt. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, and it's probably got one of the best kitchen meals family rooms that orientate right round the back garden that you're likely to see. So, great opportunity there.
You okay? Bit of reflux or something there? You've had a couple. I'm worried about
a burp there.
I'm actually worried about your
your
ability to restrain your physical issues at the moment.
Well, you know, it's the time of COVID, Gary. Everything and anything goes.
Fair enough. Very good. Well,
what a meandering show it's been today.
Gone everywhere today, haven't we?
All over the place. It feels like it's been a fast edition.
Yeah, it feels like it too. Yeah,
that's what 3 double espressos will do for me. But it's been a good show.
It's been good.
Interesting to see some viewer feedback on whether this show ticked your boxes.
Yeah, well, we hope it did. It's a big wrap on GPTV. We're in May, Philip. We've got open for inspections, we've got auctions, we've got buyers and sellers. It's all happening in the world of real estate. Get your news here every week with the Salesman, and you can determine whether we're anything more than that. But we are here at GPTV. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fabulous week. We look forward to seeing you at our auctions at Open for Inspections now that the world is opening up again.